Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with his friend, the lumberjack landlord. How you doing, buddy?
I'm super awesome. I'm excited to talk about this. This is what we've been waiting for, man.
Oh, absolutely. So, folks, you've been watching this channel for any length of time. You know a couple of things. One is a recession is coming. I say that not to scare you, but to prepare you. You have been watching Matt and I get prepared for this for about 6 months, maybe 8, right? Stacking paper, refi, 30-year debt, all that stuff we've talked about. Go watch our playlists. But now what I want to do is give you just a taste of what we hope to do over the next 2 years. Again, Fortune. I want to give Fortune a great shout out. Do I have my notes? I don't, but I can from memory. Fortune magazine post is affluent Americans are going to go shopping in this recession. And then the subquote was, "This is when the rich get wealthy." And I'm like, yeah, nailed it. That's what we've been trying to talk about. So I want to use our examples of what we plan to do as motivations for others to think about what is coming. So let's play some ping pong. You're the guest. You go first. What's one thing you plan to do?
I plan to keep all of my guys gainfully employed and add some of their friends. That's what I plan to do, because I think that I talk a lot about, that deal that I get brought. I always talk to the agent. I say, you don't need to worry. Not another phone call is being made to any other agent. You are my agent on this. I dance with the one who brung me because I know that you'll bring me the next deal, and it's the right thing to do. And I've already preempted. I think we were really successful through all of the craziness of 2020 and 2021 because we were honest with our tenants. We were open with our tenants, and we preempted everything. We sent out a letter the last week of February when in 2020. So they weren't caught off guard. They knew exactly how we were going to handle things. And I think in this particular case too, I've already sat down with my guys. I've already sat down with a bunch of our 1099 contractors. And I said, we might have to adjust the rates. I said, I understand you're not going to adjust them for me now because you can still get work elsewhere. But when you can't, please make the phone call. If your preference is to stay working instead of having to hit certain profit margins, ring me. I'll be more than happy to do some of those projects with you.
So I'll stay on that theme. If you've been watching my channel, you know I've been struggling to get an ADU built. Well, actually, I shouldn't even say that. Get an ADU approved. Yeah.
I was going to correct you.
Yeah. So we did get design back for the 3rd time from the city. Small changes. Every time there's small changes.
Yep.
That's what they say. Still takes an engineer. And still more money is being spent. Flushed down the toilet.
With no dirt moved. Just yes.
No dirt. But my intention as I look at this, because as you know, lumber's way down.
Yeah.
I expect my teams who would do my construction to be less busy.
Yes.
So about 3 months ago, I was getting so annoyed. I was starting to think this might be the only ADU I built because I'm kind of pot committed. It's on my vision board. I have to do it, right? It's been a goal of mine for a decade. The process. Yeah, finish it. Yep. But now I look at this realizing, wow, builders are going to slow down. They're going to lay people off.
Yes.
If I could build an ADU for 70%, because I have a list, right? I prep for this. I had a list of 12 properties where I can add an ADU. So there's a chance. Again, I have the lending sources and all these other things where I could basically get 10 to 12 ADUs built with none of my own money, right? I may fund it and then refi out, all that stuff. But there's a chance that, assuming I get this one finally approved through Fresno's whatever board of directors or whatever the hell I'm going through, that we might build 10 to 12 more just because I can get people busy and I'll get a discount.
Yep. So
I think that it might just work out perfectly. And then after I do all of these, none of my own capital's in the deal, and kind of cool. So that's something that could be I could be very busy with these projects in 2023.
Yeah. And so what I would say is, I think probably if I had to call it, I would call it probably Q4, end of Q3 on lumber. You're probably going to be back to pre-pandemic levels. I think you'll probably be, 450 to 550 per 1,000 board feet.
Yeah, that's like a 30% discount, because I penciled it out right at this point, just where they are today. I'm saving like 30 grand.
So yeah, so right now with what you can buy a 2x4x8 for, which is generally what you use to construct walls, or maybe it's a 2x6x8. Either way, those are about 30%, 35% off the high, depending on where you're buying them.
Mm.
I expect that to fall probably down to, I would guess, about 50%, maybe even
Wow.
60% off. Because when lumber was about $10 a stick for a 2x4x8, when lumber was $10 a stick there, it was $1,600 per 1,000 board feet. And now
Wow.
we're at like 5 and change, or low sixes. I expect that that trend will continue downward. And more importantly, is we're going to see the whipsaw effect,
Mhm.
where we're going to see all of those orders coming into places, and with construction being down and builders slowing down, there's going to be a lot more inventory that's going to be there, where they're going to basically be chasing it downward to make sure that they don't have 75 houses worth of lumber sitting there in
Yeah.
a yard.
That's the whiplash effect. Is the, yeah.
Yep.
All right. So that's my first. What do you got next?
I think that the next thing is, I mean, buying what used to be expensive assets.
Like
I
what?
think that a Lamborghini.
Let's be clear. That's a toy. Let's call it what it is. You're going to buy an expensive toy.
Well, I guess the last 2 years of data for used cars would actually throw in the face of that, because they actually were the best performing asset in the last 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Stimulus ballers. Yeah. Sure. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. The Rolex Daytona. Yeah. I got it. Yeah. Throw that shit away. It's a toy.
Yeah, it's 100% a toy. Yeah, the house, the second house. So yeah, I mean, all that stuff that, I've wanted a Lamborghini since I was a kid.
Yeah.
It was always a stupid, like, dream asset or dream expense.
Yeah, it's a toy. Let's be clear.
Toy. Yes. And so I bought the Lamborghini house last year.
Yep.
The Lamborghini house, for those of you who don't remember, is I bought a house that would make enough money on a monthly basis where it would pay my Lamborghini payment, because
Yeah.
I'm not going to buy a Lamborghini for cash.
Right. Yeah. So you've already prepared. So, and you're also going to buy a second home in Vegas, right? You're working with Brian Lebo, who's been on this channel.
Yep. The fantastic Brian Lebo.
Yeah.
Realtor to the stars and me.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so I've been looking at those searches, and yeah, the Vegas market is like 7,000 homes right now, and it was 2,200 in May.
Yeah. It's awesome.
I'm digging it. Like,
Yeah.
this could get fun. So yeah, just watching those fun assets, like a house,
Mhm.
not a car, toy cars.
Yeah.
toys.
Yeah. It's toys. Yeah.
But yeah, watching those things, and we'll put something to work in those two things for sure.
Yeah. So the next one, I really think I'm going to get to repeat what was in my first book. Because again, I think we're going to see real estate transactions crash. Politicians don't like to see that. They're going to come out with some kind of first-time homebuyer program, which is just going to crush affordability on the low end. And that's going to take affordability in my market from 32 to under 20. And I'm going to go, time to sell.
Yeah, you're gonna sell these singles. Yeah.
I'm going to sell a few. But the beauty of this is, I think I'm going to get lucky again. What does that mean? I think I'm going to sell my houses at the peak.
Yes.
And 1031 into distressed buildings. I think there's a good chance I buy the biggest building I own in the next 18 to 24 months. And it will be a 1031 out of equity that the government just throws on top because of first-time homebuyer programs and other crazy things. It's everybody's like, why aren't you selling? I'm like, it's still affordable, at least in my market, right? Go learn your own buy box. It's still a 31 or 32. I don't freak out until it's 20. They throw on a first-time homebuyer program, 15, down payments for free. Boom. Everything I own just blows up another 15, 20%. 1031 out of that into busted syndications. That would be beautiful, wouldn't it?
Oh, I mean, yeah. Would you do a reverse 1031?
I haven't had to.
I think you might this time.
I might. Yeah, timing might be
Yeah.
off.
Timing's going to be the issue. Because I think the way that I see that coming is, I think that there is that busted syndication. I think you have the chance to buy the property. You got to lock it in, LLC it, get that piece done. And then you're like, okay, now I know I need to sell these 14 houses over here to basically, I'm thinking bigger. Why are you thinking so small, Mike? I'm thinking bigger building.
Yeah. No, hey.
You're always thinking smaller, Mike. I think.
Yeah, I got it. It is a big issue of mine. Yes. Yeah, I don't.
It's bigger, man.
All right.
So you're selling 14 and getting a building that's, we're getting like a set of like 4 or 5 buildings in like a development that's, 60 units or 80.
That'd be fun.
Oh,
yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So what's your last one? What's the last thing you hope to do in this recession?
The same. I hope to do the same. I think that you and I both come out of this owning the biggest building that we've ever owned. New Hampshire doesn't have the same rules that California does on the over 20 units having to have on premises.
18, by the way.
Oh, 18. Okay. So we don't have that same thing.
Or 16. Sorry, stand corrected. 16.
Dear
Over
God.
16, you have to have an on. I know that because I bought two 18s before I knew the rule. And then I realized I didn't have an 18. I had a 17. What we're talking about here is in California, if you have 16 units or more, you have to have an on-site manager. So 18 is like the worst thing to buy. And of course, I bought two of them within 6 months of each other. Stupid I was.
But you don't regret it now, though, do you?
No, heck no. It made,
Yeah.
nah, it's fine. But I mean, again, just things you don't know. I make kind of mistakes all the time.
Absolutely. So we don't have that same thing. And so that's what I'm looking at is, I mean, we drive around and there's some of those like 70s and 80s built, like 4 units kind of per brick building. Brick is big out here.
Mhm.
And, 4 of those bricks. And then there's, 6 or 8 of those in the complex or 10 of those in the complex. You're like, man, I'd love to own those.
Yeah.
So something like that, we will definitely be purchasing. I'm honestly hoping it's a call from my bank.
Yeah. I've
Them
already
saying-
reached out to mine too, saying, hey, I'm
Exactly,
here,
yeah.
never missed a payment. I'm good. You got my bank balance. Yeah. Yeah. So my final one is something I'm big on, actually created with Velocity Mortgage, is the 50-40-10. Basically buying assets with only 10% down,
Mhm.
getting some seller carry for a second. I'm actually already marketing to this. I'm spending almost $1,000 a month, and we'll do it for at least 6 months, probably 12. We're already getting calls. We got about a 1% call rate on our first one. No real leads yet, but this is a process. It takes about eight touches to find something. So I really do think 50-40-10 is going to prove out to be amazing. I know many students have stuff in contract already, which is cool. I hope to have something probably by the end of the year. And again, if you haven't seen it, this is the best mailer I have ever seen, and I get mailers every day. Housing crash coming. We're still buying. Yeah.
Quick question for you. When you put together that list,
Mhm.
did you also get the person's phone number?
We didn't skip. We could have. It's called skip tracing. We did not do that. We may do that. We are doing mailers first.
I'm interested to see what it looks like after 3 months,
Mhm.
because I'm actually probably going to do the same. The only thing that we're going to do is we're going to get the phone numbers as well,
Yeah.
because we want to have the people following up with them saying,
Yeah.
hey, we sent you something in the mail. And I'm
Agreed.
interested to see if that has how much higher of a conversion if it does.
Yeah, I could certainly do that. I'll talk to my team. We just had a phone call yesterday, and we're happy with the 1% callback. But yeah, I don't know. We can skip trace, get numbers. Usually you get about 75%, which is enough.
Yeah.
And again, this is for me. I'm focused on 2 through 4s because I want residential loans. I don't want any I spent 9 months getting out of variable loans.
Yes.
So yeah, this is going to be fun. So I look forward to, again, none of this should sound bragging. If you know Matt or I, that's not what we do. We are telling you all of this for motivation. We want to open your eyes. You know us to be prepared. You know us to take action. We're hopefully showing you what we're looking at so you can get wealthy. Recessions, bear markets are where the rich get wealthy. It is frankly where I've made my biggest moves, and you should too. Where can people find you?
Lumberjack Landlord on YouTube and on Instagram at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time, live streams every Sunday.
Awesome. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Mike.